Hello, good afternoon, sir. We are the group two, and we will now proceed to our research. But before that, we ano, but before that, we are here with my co-researchers, Miss Irene Caldo, Miss Nicole Ann Crisostomo, Mr. Hans de Guzman, Mr. Lorenzo Nugid, and also me, Rick Lara. Next, this is the table of contents. Next, our company. Holifco is a coffee business that is single member, owned by Nicole Ann Crisostomo, a graduate of National University Fairview with a bachelor's degree in business administration. Since 2019, the company has been serving gourmet coffee, latte, espresso, tea, smoothies, and freshly baked pastries to customers in Manila and Quezon City, Philippines. Holifco's pastry recipes are all unique creations by the owner, while its coffee products are acquired from the local coffee supplier. The company strives to be the top local coffee business, recognized for its one-of-a-kind goods and services that appeal to health-conscious customers and coffee enthusiasts. Next. These are research topics. A market research of Colifco about the influence of local coffee shops, store environment, and product factors toward the purchasing behaviors of any Fairview students. The influence of local coffee shop store, environment, and product factor towards the purchasing behaviors of any Fairview students. First bullet, investigate the factors that influence the buying behaviors of any Fairview students toward coffee shops. Second, determine and assess the potential customers who will be part of the target market of the business. Third, conduct surveys on what people usually consume, purchase, and consider in this type of establishment. Next.
So the purpose of this research is simply to know the circumstances of like what makes the students buy a coffee or what's the reason for them to buy a coffee from a coffee shop or what are their expectations in terms of environment or price. With that so, this will serve as a market study for COOLEAF Corporation to gather relevant information. So here's our objectives. The first one is to identify and analyze the underlying factors that could contribute to co-leaf corporations. When we say underlying factors, it means something that what is beneath or the root that could help the operations of co-leaf. Next is bridge the gap between customers' expectations and satisfaction by aligning their needs and wants to the business. So this is the way of considering their answers from our surveys, like the suggested price of students or the usual type of coffee that they ordered. And the third is propose solutions of action plans to enhance the internal and external management of COLIFCO. Next.
The importance of our study is that this research will be the foundation of our business, and it's also valuable to us researchers because this study will provide us in our business data on how will we have an edge to our cost competitors, have our loyal customers stay and make the business successful, and lastly, proper research and analysis we can maintain and increase the longevity of the business itself. Next.
So, in line with that, we have developed a series of questions that the researchers can refer to as a guideline in conducting this research. And these are the following. First, what are the main factors the business must highly focus on to improve and increase its competence in the market? Second, how does consuming or visiting coffee shops impact students' lifestyle in terms of their performance, budget, satisfaction, among others? Third, what are the effective strategies to implement for Coolifco's better management? And fourth, What effect do preferences and financial capabilities have on an individual's buying behavior towards a coffee business? So, with the help of these questions, it will enable the group to identify the right and specific data to be collected and analyzed later on. And apart from these would be the questions involved in survey questionnaires, which will be discussed by the next presenter.
So now let's proceed to unit of analysis. So our target here are the students at National University Fairview. So we selected 40 participants through purposive sampling. So through this, it will answer what the researchers are seeking to look in terms of student status or occupation, allowance for earnings per week, frequency of visiting coffee shops or when consuming one, features of foods and beverages they consider in such factors. Next slide, please. So here are the following of qualifications before participating in our study. So of course, they must be currently enrolled at NU Fairview and must be a full-time or a working student, a coffee drinker or often visits coffee shops, lives around Fairview, Quezon City, and able to read and comprehend text in English language. Next reporter, please.
Moving on to research methodology. So the researchers have conducted an online survey through Microsoft Forms. The survey that we've used consists of questions that are mixed methods, meaning it is designed for qualitative and quantitative types of research. It is an open and close-ended questions. This process was selected as this could provide researchers brief and more accurate results in gathering the data with respect to identifying the determinants of the buying patterns of the targeted participants, which are subsequently subjected to further analysis. Next slide. About the survey questions, it is divided into four sections. So the first one is demographics. The researchers asked the basic information from the respondents: the name, gender, age, and occupation. Giving attention to demographics allows us to be more clarified of our visions and marketing plans and so on. Next slide. Moving on to section 2, it is a combination of multiple choice and open-ended questions. So the multiple choice comes up with asking their weekly allowance or earning and how often they drink coffee in a week. In open-ended questions, we allowed them to give their own answers. The respondents was asked what's their main reasons of drinking a coffee, how often they visit the coffee shop, and the name of their favorite coffee shop brand. Next slide. In the third section, the respondents was able to choose the type of hot and cold specialty coffees and beverages they often enjoy to drink. They were also given a chance to rank off what they considered the most before purchasing a coffee. And so final, next. So the final questions, which is the section 4, this was the type of questions where respondents were allowed to express and explain their opinions by answering with a longer statements. These are questions like, does the environment matter? And would it be a good idea to establish a coffee shop near the campus? And would they often visit the shop? Next reporter.
Data analysis. Descriptive data analysis. Descriptive statistical analysis is studies that in a way that common pattern across the data collected are determined and presented with text and graphs. Next. And then we will present the data summary of survey of close-ended questions. Next slide. In this graph, this is but first is the summary of questions 1 to 4. Uh, at this graph, we can see that 75% of our participants are female. Then the average age of our participants are 18 to 24 years old. Then most of them are full-time students with the average of 78%. Next. Numbers of days they usually drinks coffee. At this graph, we can see that 57.5% of our participants usually drink coffee 2 to 4 times a week. Then 20% of them um, daily drink coffee, and some of them are 12.5% that prefer once a week. Then we have 10% that never drinks coffee. Next, then at this graph, we can see these are the numbers or of coffee shop visits. 57.5% are rarely who visit coffee shops. Then we have 30% 2 to 3 times a week. Then 10% daily and 2.5% rather of others. Next.
On the other hand, shown here are the summary of data from open-ended questions based from the same number of students. So accordingly, we have found out the reasons why students consume coffee based on the survey question number 5. And we have categorized their answers into a summary of points, which are the following, namely because it boosts energy, according to 45% of participants. In this category, students mentioned that coffee keeps them awake, alive, feel energized, and productive, while there were 20% who claimed that it provides them personal satisfaction, as there are some individuals who enjoy the taste of coffee and others who simply love its flavor. While other reasons is that it can relieve stress, provide relaxation, and coffee simply has become a part of their everyday routine. While with the question number 7, next slide please. We have analyzed that students' top 5 go-to cafes are Starbucks, Tim Hortons, Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf, McDonald's, and Coffee Project, which data are shown in this slide. And this is due to them having a good ambience, a distinct quality of taste of products, affordable price, food variety, discounts, and simply provides convenience for its accessible location. Now, considering this data, Coolifco can now adapt these factors that these coffee shops practices, and hence would be able to attract more customers and succeed these competitors in the long run. Moreover, next slide. Students were also asked to rank which factors do they consider the most when consuming or purchasing coffee. And these are the results that we got. The first and major votes went on the distinct quality of taste, second on the variety of flavor offerings, third on the price, and the least considered was the nutritional content that the coffee has. Next slide. Consequently, with price being considered, there were a number of amounts that students suggested they prefer when purchasing a coffee. And most of them think that around 250 to 300 pesos is the most suitable price for a coffee that is budget friendly. Meanwhile, next slide please. Students in coffee shops tend to purchase the following snacks to pair with their coffee beverage, such as donut, bread, cake, pastries, and cheesecake. And next slide. While 99% agreed that store environment matters, which includes the interior design, music, lighting, and other aesthetics due to its good ambience that it provides, and sense of comfort that can improve mood. And 95% claim that having a cafe near or on campus would be advantageous to a lot of students, provided that it offers an affordable price, unexpected location convenience, relaxing ambience, good customer service, and high product quality for the NU Fairview students. Next slide. So now, after the process of analyzation and putting these data into consideration, the group is expected to formulate and recommend action plans to be applied by the COOLEAF in terms of better management. And such of this includes number 1, the determination of suitable prices of coffee products for the students, with competitors' prices being carefully studied. Two, the proper maintenance in enhancing quality products as how other famous coffee shops or go-to coffee shops of students handle this. Third, the offering of foods and beverages which students prefer, including the menu variations, flavor, and health contents. And lastly, the physical environment and customer service which a business contributes to to the satisfaction of students. And many more implementations that Kulifco might take advantage of after exploring the market while um, we conduct this study. Next slide, please.
For ethical consideration, this is a step we took to ensure that the people we interviewed or conducted the survey or the research will be safe and no information will be leaked. First is data privacy. We will keep all the personal and confidential information that are given to us will not be leaked and will be treated with utmost respect and care. And lastly, will never be used for anything against the participants to do any illicit activities. Next.
So the last one is informed consent. So all participants are well informed that joining in the study still depends on whatever consent they will give. And being a participant must not be forced but voluntary with full consent of the individuals who desire to join. In short, lahat po ng participants namin in the study is voluntary with full consent and hindi po namin pinili. Next slide, please. So, this is the proof na inform yung mga participants namin before participating in our study. And then, kung napapansin nyo po sa babang side, naka-input po dun lahat ng university email namin, meaning they can approach us for any other matters or if they have concerns. So, that is all for our presentation. On behalf of my group, I would like to thank you for listening.